You want to know the player that nobody's talking about that is going to decide the college football playoff in 2026? It's not Arch Manning. It's not Julian Sayin. Heck, it's not even Dante Moore. It is Josh Hoover. And by December, I think the rest of the country is going to be wondering just how they missed this. Let's start with who Josh Hoover actually is. He's a 3-year starter at TCU, 31 consecutive starts, a 2-time team captain. He set the TCU single-season passing record in 2024 with 3,900 yards, and he comes into 2026 leading every single FBS returning quarterback in career passing yards with almost 10,000. And he's second in career touchdown passes with 71. Only Noah Fafita has more. This is not just some random flyer, but this is a grown man that has experience at the position. Now let's talk about 2025 because I think we have to. Hoover threw for 3,400 yards, 29 touchdowns, 13 picks, and he completed 66% of his passes. Those are some pretty big numbers, but the interceptions are real, and I'm not going to pretend like they aren't. He had multi-pick games against Arizona State, Iowa State, and Houston. He threw 3 picks in a win over Houston. He had 4 fumbles lost on top of his 13 INTs. That's the bear case. And the bear case has some teeth. Here's what I want you to understand about that turnover number, because I think in a lot of ways, context matters more in this football evaluation. And TCU in 2025 was a top-heavy passing operation. Hoover averaged like 37 attempts per game. He was asked to throw it 50 times in the Iowa State loss. And when you're the entire offense, when defenses know that you have to throw it, when the run game isn't able to bail you out, interceptions are going to happen. That doesn't necessarily excuse the bad ones because there are some bad ones there, but I think it contextualizes that number that Sonny Dykes seems so hung up on. But here's the kicker. Through the first 9 games of 2025, Hoover had 23 touchdowns to 8 interceptions. The wheels came off late in the season. In my opinion, I think that's a coaching problem and a roster problem just as much as it is a quarterback problem. He is leaving that situation. He is walking into the defending national champions program, which brings me to point 3. Josh Hoover was originally committed to Indiana out of high school. He flipped to TCU. And now 4 years later, he's coming home. I think that means something. It doesn't mean nothing. Players play different when they wanted to be somewhere the whole time. And Curt Cignetti doesn't take transfer quarterbacks who aren't ready to win him big-time football games. Let's look at the past. Curtis Rourke, a guy that nobody was talking about, walks into Bloomington, gets himself a playoff appearance. And then Indiana goes 16-0 and wins the Natty behind Fernando Mendoza. You think Cignetti, the guy who has not missed on a transfer evaluation since he got to Indiana, looks at Josh Hoover. He watches every snap of his 3 years at TCU. He sees the turnovers, and he still says, yeah, that's my guy. And then we're just supposed to second guess him. I think Cignetti has earned the benefit of the doubt when it comes to Josh Hoover. Hoover's earned the job. That combination should scare you if you're playing Indiana in 2026. And now here's the part where, the box score watching analytics crowd hates. There is a thing you can see on tape. And I, by no means, am a football expert, but when you watch the tape, it doesn't show up in the box score. Josh Hoover has the goods. It is the way that he's able to reset his feet after a first read breaks down. It's the way that he can climb the pocket instead of bailing. Some of the throws that he's able to make on a 3rd and 8 when the protection collapses, and he still puts it on a back shoulder for a first down. I think the interceptions are fixable. The arm talent is not teachable. The pocket presence is not teachable. 31 consecutive starts of getting punched in the mouth in the Big 12. I don't think that's teachable either. You give a quarterback like that a real defense to lean on, a legit offensive line, and a play caller in Cignetti's system that doesn't ask him to be the entire offense by himself. Those interception numbers 100% are going to go down. Those wins will go up. And so here's my bold claim that I'm planting my flag on this April already, when the whole season is May, June, July, August away. We still got 4 months. Josh Hoover is going to finish top 5 in the Heisman voting. Indiana is going to go back to the college football playoff easily. He cuts the interception numbers down, I think potentially down to like 6. because the offense around him won't ask him to carry it the same way that TCU did. He has legit weapons around him. Nick Marsh, by all accords, I think is the most underrated wide receiver in college football. And I think by week 6, every talking head who spent the offseason ranking Indiana, maybe they fell off, regression's coming, they're going to quietly be editing their preseason takes off the internet. And don't say I didn't warn you. The defending champs aren't done. They got better at almost every important position on the field. And Josh Hoover, turnovers and all, is about to become even more of a household name because Indiana's here to stay, and they are a legit national title threat next year because of him.